All right, family. We black again. We black again with another powerful presentation today. We're gonna be dealing with the total genocide of the Tasmanian people. This happened. Tasmania is a nation that's sitting right up under Australia, and there in the 19th century occurred one of the greatest acts of genocide on the people in the history of the world, where a total genocide was inflicted on the Tasmanian people. That means they wiped out every last one of them, and there's not a Tasmanian alive to this day. You see, and so we gonna touch on a very sad era of our African history, and but in that we are bringing forth information that we can learn from at this very time, that can we could use to diverge from having another total genocide happen to us today, by understanding the adversary and what the adversary is and what the adversary isn't. That's right. And so while we here, I want to say that I'm proud to say that we are now accepting membership for the Sarasun Seti YouTube page. You see, we have four levels of membership. All you had to do is go where the links is in the video description in the chat room. You could click that link. You could go in. There's an introduction video that introduces you to the page, introduces you to the memberships. You can look at the membership. We got some high profile memberships, that got some heavy perks. Of course, I always feed my family, and so that's what it's about. And so all the out of the four perks, memberships, I'm guaranteeing you is one you're gonna like. You see what I'm saying? And so check it out, family. And even if you don't choose a membership, you're all right with me. You see, I'm glad you're here. You see what I'm saying? To get the wisdom, and let's continue to do this, but we need to grow, and we need to keep progressive African scholars on the forefront of this shit. You know what I'm saying? With all these groups out here that is trying to destroy our legacy, it is of the utmost importance to keep, African-centered scholars and researchers that's serious about, our people, keeping them on the forefront of, the internet, internet accessibility and so on and so forth. So our people can hear our message. You see, that's what it's all about. We got a very powerful presentation lecture coming up this Sunday. The code is mind blowing. A cult breakdown of the Bible ever, presented by yours truly, General Seti. That's right. This Sunday, April 23rd, 2023, going down at 2 p.m. The link again is in the video description in the chat room. You should click that link. Begin to think. Don't you hesitate to elevate. Ring the alarm, kingseti.com online marketplace. Official General Sarah Seti DVD lectures, t-shirts, and hoodies, African and Kemetic jewelry. We have 20% off at this time. Save before you shop with all these exciting and hot products. You see, and then we got 20% waiting on you. Your 20% off waiting on you. You cannot lose. Go to kingseti.com. We also have holistic tonics and remedies, home decor accessories for every room in the house, living room, dining room, kitchen, bathroom. We have you. kingseti.com. Pull the fire alarm, generalseti.com. SETI University, over 900 video presentations on African history, heritage, spirituality, nation building, mental warfare, advanced African academics, developing the Black nation one lesson at a time. The complete General Sarasun Seti website. Check it out. Thank me later. You see, Seti keep it popping on Patreon, BPC making noise. We never come. Exclusive live stream, too hot to handle on YouTube or any other tool. We have profound live streams. We have two coming up tomorrow. You should be in the house, become a patron, unlock a treasure chest of academic gems and jewels exclusive only to my Patreon. And last but not least, make sure you subscribe to all my YouTube channels. King Seti, General Seti, Sarah Susan Seti, rock that notification bell. Give a video a thumbs up, like it because you love it, share with your family and friends, and comment. Just don't say nothing stupid because I will ban your ass. You will be up out of here and you ain't coming back. You ain't coming back. So you can quit that. Okay. Now, again, so let's deal with this. Matter of fact, where is? Okay. I got to bring it back up. There it is right there. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it back up. We're talking about the Tasmanian. A lot of people don't know that when you start talking about the Tasmanian, they're little twa peoples. Little twa peoples. Let me see what the ones I put in earlier. What the ones I put in earlier. Okay, there they go. Now I know this is what the brother was talking about. He wanted me to put in, because I did this, I did this particular presentation many years ago, and I haven't done it since then. I've touched on areas around, and I bring it up, but I haven't put in the serious work, because I didn't went into so many other areas. You know what I'm saying? I try to touch on all areas, and after a while, you didn't touched on a lot of things, and it'd be time for you to come back around. You know what I'm saying? And it's time for me to come back around and speak on this issue. Let me take it to the back. Okay. Matter of fact, I hate when select all. Okay. Nah, this is profound, and I hate to show this, but we have to, because this show you how the Cro-Magnon Neanderthal is. That's how he is. That's how he is. That's how he is. And so you see here, and this is the sister. I believe her name is Let me get it. I want to be. I have to. Sometimes I have to just look at it, and I can get the pronunciation. Hold on. In case you want to. That's it. True Ganini. Okay, it's True Ganini. Okay, this is her name, and she was the last female Tasmanian. She was the last one, and when she passed, as you can see, just to show you how disrespectful, they put her skeleton in the museum. You see, they put and they put her skeleton in the museum. And finally they took it down. You see what I'm saying? Just so disrespectful. So disrespectful. And so you see here these and that's King Billy. You see, he was the last and like I say, when you look at them, it looked like they come straight from down south, Mississippi. Some damn way. You know what I'm saying? You cannot tell them from no other African on the planet. You see, even when you look at the Tasmanian, you see they got that tight. You see, they ain't got no loose curl. You understand what I'm saying? They got that tight. You see that peppercorn head to this, sitting on that skull tight. You see what I'm saying? So, man, look like they straight from the hood, family. I'm just being 100 with you. You see what I'm saying? And they seem to have been a short people. You see, on the level of the Twa. And if I do a little bit of research, and I probably would be right on point when I say that they are Twa. That they would be referred to as Negrito. You see, in that area. You see, and so when you go into India, and you had this sister right here. She was the last of her kind, and I'm not saying kind, but of her particular tribe in India. And that was the Bo language, you see. And we understand that they all in some way, form, shape, or another uh related. We know there's no doubt about it. You see, and so when you start talking about the Twa, you start talking about the Negrito, and you can see that this was an area that was even, but at least they giving it up. They letting you know. And matter of fact, when you look at this particular map, you see that even Tasmania is on this one too. They talking about the Twa and how they migrated. But they want to say they went across the landmass, and they did not go across the landmass, because there's no way you're going to get across the goddamn Pacific unless you own boats. You see what I'm saying? So they moved, from Africa into East Asia, into Asia via the monsoons. You see what I'm saying? And the monsoons carried them all over the planet. You see? And so they started in Africa. When you're talking about the Twa, you see in our people, when we start talking about the Twa, only African people, that just show you how diverse our peoples is. And see, when we talk about African people, we got to understand, I don't care what differences you see, that Africa is the mother of these peoples. You see, we got one mother. You see, Africa is that mother. It is one continent. You see what I'm saying? And so, we are indigenous to the one continent, and our people have moved north to south, east to west. You see, don't be confused about that. There's nothing stopping us from moving in all directions in Africa. And so our people have been in every inch of Africa. You see, and like I say, some tribes that are in the South today was in the North in earlier days. Some tribes that are in the West Africa today was in East Africa in early days. You see, some tribes that are in East Africa was in West Africa. You see, so we have to understand that our people is always migrating. Now, today in West, this is in East Africa. You see the Twa. Now you got the Aka or the Baka Twa. You see, you got the the different tribes of Twa in Africa, and you got some that are right around the Great Lakes region. You see what I'm saying? They got the Great Lakes Twa, and then you got the Twa that reside in the Congo rainforest. You see, and so that's something about our people that, when it comes to those rainforests, those are predominant areas where African people dominated all over the world. Period. You see, period. That's where we dominated. This is our natural habitat in many instances. You see, and so when you start talking about the Twa, then you talking about Bes, you talking about Ptah. You see, these were the early Twa deities. You see, when you talk about the Narma palette, you know what I'm saying? You talk about the Narma palette. And you see the Twa are the priests on the Narma palette. You see that the Twa are the priests, and that they wear the cap of Ptah. You see, they wear the cap of Ptah. And so when you start talking about the first deity of ancient Kemet, it was Ptah, the Twa. See, a lot of people you see here, they never show you the little, in Greek time, they call them Patroclus, or however the Greek name, but that's Ptah. And he was also a Twa. And you can see here, this was in I believe this was in the Master Bar of Congemini, if I believe it is, that I remember that, because I remember seeing that, where you see the Twa, and they're making jewelry. You see what I'm saying? And you can see that they got the aprons on of the brotherhood. So when people, in the European try to make it seem as if the Twa was some like entertainment for the Egyptians and this, that, and the third. But we could show and prove that from the earliest of time, they were in control of the priesthood, and that the first god of Egypt, the two earliest gods of Egypt, Bes and Ptah, the two earliest are Twa. You see? And so when you talk about Egypt and you talk about Egypt Ptah, you are talking, they very well knew that the origins of ancient Egypt came up out of the southern region, and that the seed people were the Twa. You see that in Asia, they refer to them as the Negritos. And so we see that that the Tasmanian are also Negrito. You see, they were, in them islands from day one. You see here also, Negritos. You see the little Twa. You see all through in Philippines. And you got to understand they were there first, and I want y'all to understand that they didn't come in. No, they were the first in the land. And they were very heavily populated in India, in southern China before them people got there. And they pushed them further and further south. You see, they pushed them further and further south into the islands and so on and so forth. But they were heavily populated on the landmass too. You see, so when you get to looking at the Buddhas and with woolly hair and this, that, and the third, this is showing you that this was African long before what you see today. It's no different today when you come and you see Europeans in so-called America and so-called Native Americans and this, that, and you don't understand that the African was here tens of thousands of years before either one of those people got here. You see what I'm saying? And so it's no different nowhere on the planet. You see, it's no different nowhere on the planet. And so you see that what's critical about that, you see Egypt, Ptah, you see land of Ptah, land of the Twa, and you see here you even see Bes with the leopard skin to show that he was a priest. He was of the craft. He was in the brotherhood. He had been initiated. Not only is he a brother, he's the grand master. You see what I'm saying? He's the grand master. He's the one that brought the ceremonies and the rituals. We got to understand that they brought the ceremonies and the rituals that later on the Egyptians would adopt and use it as the foundation of of all the other systems of spirituality. Memphis, Waset, you see, Aswan, and Tasseti, and all of these areas. They would later develop all those areas along the Nile. You see, and the one thing about the Twa is that when you talk about African people, we are the only one of any race on this planet that has a variation of the African that's just short like that. You see, a Twa is different than a dwarf or a midget or anything. You see, because the limbs of a Twa are proportioned to his body. A midget and a dwarf and shit, their limbs and their head is not proportioned to their body. And so we got to be clear about that. So there, a Twa is not a midget or a dwarf. You see what I'm saying? They're not a midget or a dwarf. They're a Twa, and their proportion and their dimensions, their limbs are proportional to their torso and their head. So they don't look like, they got little short arms on a big body. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to be clear about that. And it's many of them. It's not like if you have a midget or something, it might just be a defect. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be thousands and thousands of them. It'll be defects. You see what I'm saying? But the Twa, you can have, you having tens of thousands of them. They have their own, their own tribe, their own areas in which they stay. And so, and so that's significant. So when you see Twa around the world, you can easily, because no other race has that type of variation. They have midgets and dwarfs, but they do not have a branch of their race that is short like that. So anywhere where you identify a Twa, whether it's in Asia, or Africa or North America, it's African. It's African. You see? So you see at the top, you see now that's Ptah, but this one is in Asia, India. This is Bess. This one is also in Asia. You see this one, the Buddha, and you see the bald head. Ptah became the bald head Buddha. That's all that it become. You see again, and this one is in America. These two at the bottom are in America. You see the old Mecca. The old Mecca came with the Twa. You see, this is also on, and you can see right there, you can, and when you see, now this is Pakal, and then you can see he got the Mayan nose, and then you can see the Twa with the African nose. You can see, you know what I'm saying? So you can tell these are two different people, and it looked like he got on, one of them rags, how them niggas tied to the front, like them gangster rags and shit. Sometimes they tie that motherfucker to the front. You see what I'm saying? So it looked like he got one of them rags on. You see what I'm saying? And so you see, that's an African. You see? That's an African. Okay? And so you see him in Egypt. You understand, navigating the Nile. And so when you get, you get over here into and what we call the Twa are the seed people. They were the first to navigate the globe. That's why you see them everywhere. You see from Africa all the way into the South Pacific. They were the first to navigate the globe. They were the first to lay down the stellar calendars and, navigating the ocean by way of the stars. You see what I'm saying? And that's why our peoples is so magnificent, because they had, branches of the African educational system all over the world. And so you had different branches, just like university got, branches all over the world. And you had branches in the South Pacific, branches in East Asia, West Asia, Africa, West Africa, East Africa. And the scholarship, they were moving amongst the universities with the scholarship. And that's why the Africans have such a broad base of knowledge nobody else in the world has, because we have so many distinct branches of the mystery system all over the planet, and everybody is sharing research and scientific information, compiling it. You see what I'm saying? And building, an educational system that cannot be compared to by any institution nowhere at no time on the planet, since it's been documented that we've been walking on this planet. Nobody has ever and never will, because you're talking about hundreds of thousands of years of unabated research. You see what I'm saying? Cannot be duplicated by nobody but African people. You see? And so when you look here, you see this sister was she was last of the Bow people, which was they were, I believe, I have to see exactly if they were on the continent or they were down in the islands too. You see, I don't know if they were down in the islands too. But I read this, in the last speaker of ancient language of Bo dies in India. The last speaker of she was in the Andaman Islands. And so, in the Andaman Islands, and so they didn't about wipe the Andamanese people out of there. You know what I'm saying? They were up against a lot of larger nations, India. And so that's past India right there. You see what I'm saying? You talking about the Andaman Islands is closer to, like Burma and Vietnam, and you know what I'm saying, the Andaman Sea. You see Burma, and so it's past India. So it's not, when we say that the Africans was in India, that shouldn't shock nobody, because these Africans is far past India. You see what I'm saying? And you see they got woolly hair. They ain't got no straight, straight hair. They ain't got no loosely curly hair. They got woolly hair on their head. Now, of course, they've been away from home, you know what I'm saying? But, that doesn't change the fact we've been away from goddamn home. You see what I'm saying? So that don't change the fact. So when you look at the imposter India and then you look at them, you could tell, you already know them is two different peoples. And you can see they little short, they twa. Now the men get a little bit taller, just a little bit taller, not much. It look, they so short, it make him look taller than what he really is. You know what I'm saying? They so damn short, it make him look taller than what he really is. He ain't really that tall. You see what I'm saying? He might be 5 something, 5 a little bit, 5'1" or something. But they about 4. They look like they about 4 or 4'5". You know what I'm saying? 4'4". They real short. But that was the last. She was the last one that spoke that language. And and it says the last speaker of the ancient language of India's Andaman Islands has died at the age of about 85. A leading linguist has told the BBC. You see, the death of the woman Boa Senior was highly significant because one of the oldest languages, Bo, has come to an end. Professor Anviti Abi said. She said that India had lost an irreplaceable part of its heritage languages. And listen to this now. Now they could drop this science. Now let me tell you something. A Caucasian ain't gonna give you no credit if he don't have to. Ain't gonna give you no credit. So the fact is, there is nothing there because they know the research is there. Languages in the Andamans are thought to originate from Africa. Some may be up to 70,000 years old. Now, what we got to understand is when they give you that date, and they tell you, he said thumbnails look like Pops off Friday. Yeah, you see, and that's crazy because that's actually a woman. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying? You can't tell. You see what I'm saying? They are real similar. You see what I'm saying? But when you talking about now you can hear them say 70,000 years. But when they get to talking about ancient civilization, and probably say it probably 100, it probably is. They ain't gonna never give you all the credit. You see, they ain't gonna never give you all the credit, but 70,000 years, we can take that working number, because when they talk about how ancient India's civilization is, and they talk about the Harappan civilization, they talking about 3,000 years and 3,100. So how in the hell is that's the oldest? And they know damn well this language they've been over there is almost over 70,000 years old. That's far older than the Harappan culture, and they know that. So they need to stop. They need to stop lying. And so it says it's generally believed that all Andamanese languages might be the last representatives of those languages that go back to pre-Neolithic times. And that includes that whatever that Sanskrit, that is older than that. They're giving it up. You see what I'm saying? So when you look at Boa Senior, she's of, that same Twa people, and you can see they Twa. You can see they Twa because they ain't that tall. He might be a little taller, but they ain't that tall. You see what I'm saying? They are that same bloodline and stock. And so, when you talk about now, when you look at these 12 right here, and you look, is it in? Let me see. You got it in? Oh, I ain't even got it in there. Okay. Let me get it back in there. Okay, I didn't know I didn't have it. So right there, so it say right there, the languages of the Andaman Islands are thought to originate from Africa. Some may be up to 70,000 years old. You see, it is generally believed that Andamanese languages might be the last representative of those languages which go back to pre-Neolithic times. Now, when you look here at these Twa, you see, look at them and look dead in their eyes and look in their face. You can't tell them apart. Yet and still, the one at the bottom left is from Africa, and this Twa here is, I believe, from around either the Philippines. You see, and there's no difference. You can put one in the other and one over, and you wouldn't be able to tell them that one was from Africa, one was from Philippines. You wouldn't be able to do it. You wouldn't be able to do it. See, the thing is, a lot of our people, when they look and they see on TV, they see the Mongoloids. You see, they see the Mongoloids. You see, they don't get it. They don't show the Africans that are over there. Just like this, the city tribe, what they call them, the cities, the Seti. I almost say the Setis. You see, they over there too. They came from Africa, but a lot of people don't even know that they over there. And it may be 70,000, I believe, or 100,000 of them. Yeah, they didn't mean to drop that, but they don't. But what can they do? You know what I'm saying? What can they do? You see, the truth is out there. So, and so a lot, and just like Tasmania, what's happening is the knowledge is coming out that they committed genocide on a lot of them Africans over there, man. That's why they not in there like that. They didn't been removed. They didn't been exterminated out of there. You see, they didn't been exterminated, and the history must be told. We can no longer hide these facts of what happened to our people, all over this planet. You see, and so as we think, and so the Tasmanian, was the period in which, and you can look it up. It's called the Black War. And so that's the term for it. If you put in there Black War, it'll come up and it'll bring you to the war between the British imperialists and the Aboriginal Tasmanians from Tasmania, which in that war went on from mid 1820 to 1832. And they say it claimed the lives of over 1,000 Aboriginal people. It was way more than that. They wiped out every last one of our peoples on that island. They wiped out every last one of our peoples on that island. You see what I'm saying? And they have yet to call it a genocide, even though ain't one left. You see, you go over there with, highly mechanized, and they put up a guerrilla warfare. They fought them. They didn't just, and eventually it cost them the existence of the whole people, but they did fight back, and, they fight valiantly. You know what I'm saying? To, keep their land, and you know what I'm saying? And in the end, they wiped them out. You see, and so all them goddamn nasty Cro-Magnon Neanderthals that you see over there in New Zealand, in Tasmania, Australia, even in what you call Indonesia and all of that, them motherfuckers is, even them damn Mongoloids, them motherfuckers ain't nothing but colonialists. The cracker, the damn mongoloid, all of them. They ain't no damn difference. So ain't no goddamn China or no United States. You talk about the goddamn genocide that the damn mongoloid then executed upon our peoples over there in the Asian peripheral. Get out of here with that bullshit. Y'all motherfuckers better wake up. You better wake up. That's right. That's right. I put that up there. I put that up. That's true. I've been doing some research about them. Yeah. Twa. A lot of them over there, Twa. That's right. Okay, family, we touched on, do some research. We just starting here. We gonna get back because we ain't gonna let this die. You know, we're gonna bring it back up. We're gonna connect the dots and we're gonna keep moving forward progressively. A global African people. You see, trying to bring about a global African supremacy. Thank you for being here tonight, family. Check them links, click them links, begin to think. Don't hesitate to elevate. This is the General Sarah Soon said. He said, hey, arm yourself with knowledge, bang on that wicked ass beast, daily liberation through African education and confrontation. Black power.